What up, Crypto Warriors, the Sergeant Crypto, back at it again. Today is January 3rd, 2019. 10 years since the Genesis block, 10-year anniversary of Bitcoin. If you think about it, we're still very early in the space. A 10-year-old is only in the 5th grade. So Bitcoin is basically only in the 5th grade. And we've come a long way from being hated and people in the traditional finance world crapping on all over Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies to now being a part of the system it was supposed to be replaced. So this article is coming out of The Verge. It gives a breakdown of the history of Bitcoin from the Genesis block to the first time Bitcoin was sent from Nakamoto to Hal Finney 3 days after the Genesis block, to May 22nd, 2010, when 10,000 Bitcoins was about $30. And right now there was 10,000. If you had 10,000 Bitcoins, you essentially would have had $38 million, right? Goes from being born out of crisis, the financial crisis of 2008. And I go back to this right here. The Times, the British newspaper, The Times, 3 January 2009, Chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks. So again, being born out of crisis, and now Bitcoin is becoming a part of that system, or they're at least trying to make it that way. Lehman Brothers being used on the Silk Road, and it just goes in an in-depth history of Bitcoin. Mt. Gox to smart contract platforms like Ethereum and ICOs, and now to the point where Bitcoin is having an ETF, all right, or on the verge of having an ETF. 10 years later, all right, this is the Times, like I said, the newspaper, the British newspaper. The Times, BitMEX took out a front page ad on the Times newspaper. Thanks, Satoshi. We owe you one. Happy 10th birthday, Bitcoin. And it's ironic that also on that front page, the front page stories are universities face credit crunch as debt spirals, and also Apple slump deepens fear of global slowdown. It's like we haven't learned anything over the past 10 years. That's all I'm going to say about that, because it's like my third time trying to record this video, and I went on the deep end on the last trial run. All right, why Bitcoin is still needed and why it's still relevant today. We have Patreon, a crowdfunding platform for YouTubers being blocked from receiving their funds. Not only being blocked from YouTube, but being blocked from Patreon as well, which is supposed to be a separate entity, right, from the likes of YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and all that. But they're blocking people, and now we have new Libre Patreon, a crowdfunding platform to use BTC Pay, Bitcoin payment service, to rival Patreon. And slow clap. That's awesome. Get rid of these centralized entities and let's start using more decentralized platforms. I'm not saying that Libre Patreon is a decentralized platform. However, the fact that they're using Bitcoin as a form of payment is a great thing. All right. So again, links in the description below. And we've come a long way, baby. We have come a long way. Nasdaq and Estonia's Gdax exchange to launch Ethereum tokenized stocks. So from Bitcoin being, a crap coin, or being crapped on by the traditional people in finance over the past 10 years, to now it's being accepted, and now Bitcoin is the sweetheart of Wall Street, and we see a lot of people leaving traditional Wall Street firms and going into blockchain companies, starting their own blockchain companies, and starting their own funds and things of that nature, to things being tokenized now. So eventually, with this platform here, we'll not only be able to trade, an Apple stock, although you should be shorting the hell out of Apple right now, but that's a story for another time. But not only being able to trade Apple stock, but say for instance you have Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum, whatever it is, right? You'll be able to trade out of your cryptos directly into a tokenized stock. All right, and guess what? These things will be more liquid, and they'll be in a fractional forms. So you can't afford a whole one share of Amazon, which is probably still like $1,500 at this time of this recording, but you'll be able to, say for instance, get a fraction of that, because that's how these tokens work. And this is how I understand it, and I'm hoping that that's how it works, really. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, this is a good thing. They say, digital stocks are backed one-to-one to real-world stocks traded on conventional stock exchanges. You purchase tokens for leading assets that you choose to invest in, such as Google, Amazon, etc. Therefore, when you are a token holder, you own shares of the company. So everything is going to get tokenized. From this point on, to over like the next 5 years or so, 2 to 5 years, we'll see a lot of these trading platforms, right, from the NASDAQ, to Backed, New York Stock Exchange, whatever the case is, they'll be able to have Bitcoin, XRP, right, and you'll also have the Apples and the Googles as well, all intermingling on one platform, and being able to, who knows, purchase shares or tokenized stocks with Bitcoins. So, I think the sky's the limit with the way how things can be. All right, I just hope that they don't have the same business plan or the same way of doing business as they do now with the rehypothecation of stocks, and that everything is truly backed by a one-to-one ratio of token and stock. So we'll see. But I'm not going to go off the deep end here, but we know that's not going to happen. All right, but yeah, this article will be in the link in the description below again, and this is coming out of the Bitcoinist. Great news. And again, this is coming out of Estonia, European country. And yeah, we also have the Time magazine article again. The reason why I wanted to bring this up again is just the fact that more now than ever, I think Bitcoin is needed, and not just for Lambos and Win Moon and things of that nature, but the 4 billion people around the world who are either unbanked, underbanked, or are being ruled by some form of dictatorship. And Bitcoin and cryptos will help to set them free. All right, so again, link will be in the description below. You guys let me know what you think. Have we been betrayed? Have Bitcoin gone over to the dark side? I don't think so, but I do think that the dark side is trying to corrupt Bitcoin, but we won't let that happen. This is your boy, man, Sergeant Crypto. Thank you for watching. As always, please smash up the likes, hit that subscribe button, and that notification bell to get notified when I upload a new video. Peace.